So my wife and I moved into our very first home about 6 months ago. And the one thing that I asked of her was to have a dedicated space for me, my hobbies, and my passion. And so the moment we moved in, my studio setup project began. But the process of designing it and curating the pieces for it started almost a year before that, when we actually first signed for the house. So I've been collecting these pieces for my setup for well over a year to get it to the setup that you see here over the past 6 months. I wanted my setup to have a darker, earthier tone to it. So you'll see a lot of blacks, dark browns, with some green and white for a pop of color. So I'm going to link everything you see here in the description below. And just a disclaimer, some of them are affiliated links. So if you do decide to purchase any of the products mentioned in this video, please go through the links provided, as it does support me and this channel. Okay, so first things first. The main foundation of any setup is, of course, the desk. Now my setup is the well-known Ikea desk hack, where you take an Ikea butcher block countertop and place it on top of two Alex drawers. I went with the longer countertop, which is 98 inches long. Now at first, I did kind of regret this decision, but since then, I've continued to add to this setup, which has been really helpful having the longer countertop. But there is more to this desktop than meets the eye. I've also added a sit-stand frame to the countertop, allowing me to, well, sit and stand. Fully allows you to purchase a Jarvis standing desk frame all by itself, so that way you can BYOD. That's bring your own desktop. With the fully Jarvis automated legs, I have full versatility when it comes to height adjustment, and I went with the programmable memory module, which stores up to 4 custom heights and allows you to switch with one easy tap. I'll link my desk setup video here for you guys, so you can see how I installed the automated legs to the butcher block. Again, all the items will be linked in the description below. Now the Alex drawers are an absolute godsend for keeping my area clean and organized. I have 5 deep drawers on each side to hold my accessories, if it comes to work, photography, or gaming, storing other gear like hard drives, wires, and important documents. They really do help keep the clutter out of my desk, but I know exactly where everything is and I don't have to go hunting for it. Next, let's take a look at the computer and the monitor itself. So my main computer for my personal use and content creation is my 27-inch iMac from 2018, and this thing is still going strong. I do all of my video and photo editing off of here, and I still love this iMac in 2023. And with me and my wife being in the Apple ecosystem, it's easy to transfer files and connect devices. But I know I wanted to add a second monitor to my setup that would allow me to multitask and be more efficient with the work that I am doing. So I've paired my iMac with a 32-inch Gigabyte M32U monitor. It is a beast of an IPS display, which allows so many connectivity options. Now I've linked my iMac to the Gigabyte via one single USB-C cable, my PlayStation 5 to the monitor via the HDMI 2.1 port, which gives me next-gen gaming features like 120Hz refresh rate, 4K HDR, and variable refresh rate. And lastly, I have my Dell Work PC connected to it via DisplayPort. And after all that, I still have one more HDMI 2.1 port open for use. I can switch between all of these inputs via the KVM switch that is built into the monitor. And I absolutely love gaming on this monitor with this 1 millisecond response time and a high refresh rate. Now there's a lot more to this monitor, and I'll link my Gigabyte M32U unboxing and setup video for you guys right here. And I know, if you guys watch that review video, I keep saying gigabit instead of gigabyte, alright? It was my first YouTube video, so go easy on me, alright? So for my mouse and keyboard setup, I have the Apple Magic Keyboard with the keypad, and I was using the Magic Mouse for the longest time, but I recently replaced it with the Logitech MX Master 3S and haven't turned back since. It's a lot more ergonomic and comfortable, more buttons which allow for greater customizations, and most importantly, there's a USB-C charging port at the top of the mouse, so I can continue to use it while charging and no longer having to do, well, this. Now this is the PC version of the MX mouse, but it pairs just the same with my iMac, so I don't have to worry about adding a Bluetooth dongle to my iMac. Now underneath the mouse and the keyboard, I am using the GroveMade wool felt desk pad. This is the dark gray finish and a medium size. It's clean, it's soft, the edges are not sharp, so it doesn't hurt your hand or your wrist as I'm moving my hands around. And at the end of the day, it just looks really good. The MX Master 3S works just fine on top of it with no issues of input response or lag. And the pad itself doesn't slide around either. You do have to be careful not to spill anything on it because it will absorb it right away. In my opinion, this desk pad is quite expensive for what it is, but overall it is high quality material and I don't regret having it. Next, let's move on to my audio setup. The microphone that I'm using for my content creation is the Elgato Wave 3. And I gotta say, initially, I didn't know anything about Elgato before I bought this mic, but since then, I've really fallen in love with their products. Now, most YouTubers, podcasters, and audiophiles go with the Shure SM7B. But at the time that I was looking for a microphone, I was new to this level of content creation, and I didn't know if it was something I was going to stick with and justify a $300 microphone. So originally, I was going to get a Blue Yeti microphone, mainly for the price point around $100, but I was quickly turned off by it, mostly because it's outdated and hasn't been refreshed in years. And so I kept doing my research for a good microphone around that $100 price point, which led me to the Elgato Wave 3, and I absolutely love it. Now I have the Elgato Wave 3 mounted to the Elgato microphone arm. This is your traditional over-the-top boom microphone arm that is specifically designed for the Elgato mics, but you can use different microphones like the Shure SM7B if you would like. This arm has a great integrated cable management channel, which allows you to hide the microphone wires and keep your setup really clean. I also have the pop filter and the shock mount attached to help reduce the background noise. I also tested the Elgato LP, or their low profile arm, but found that the over-the-top design worked better in my setup. And I'll link that comparison video I did for you guys here for you to check out. Now the great thing about the Elgato microphone is that it has a dedicated sub-mixing software and allows you to install effects and VSTs, making it super easy to fine-tune your audio. Now, I'm not a big audiophile or experienced with audio adjustments, but even I was able to use the software and make changes with minimal effort. Now, continuing with the Elgato love, I have the Stream Deck XL. This device allows me to control practically anything and everything in my setup, my house, and even my workflow. Using the macro shortcuts, I can quickly pull up applications and websites that I use frequently, control Wi-Fi peripherals around my house, link to my NanoLeaf lights, adjust my Nest thermostat, and control the front door lock. And there are thousands of plugins to add for more functionality and complexity to the Stream Deck over time. So I'm more of a console gamer than a computer gamer, clearly because my main go-to is a Mac and not a PC. So the PlayStation 5 is my main console of choice. I have the disc version and I still prefer disc over digital content. And it's because of the PlayStation 5 that I chose the Gigabyte M32U as my main go-to as a second monitor. Now at the time I purchased it, there was only a handful of monitors that supported HDMI 2.1 and allowed for such a vast number of connection options like the M32U does. And this newest generation of gaming is absolutely great. The graphics, the games, they just keep getting better and better. And it's a quick switch from work mode to game mode, as everything is right here in front of me. Now I also recently got the PlayStation Pro controller, the DualSense Edge, and I love the customizations and quick response time it has. I do feel my gameplay has improved with it, and it's not only meant for first-person shooters, although that is where you will find most of the benefits with it. There are a few shortcomings, but overall I love using it. You can also check out my DualSense Edge unboxing and review video here for you guys as well. So clearly, I spend a lot of time at my studio and at my setup. So having a comfortable chair is an absolute must. And so here I have the SecretLab Titan Evo 2022-2023 edition in an all black leatherette. Now I'm 5'10", 170 pounds, and I went with the regular size, which fits me perfectly. This chair is absolute perfect in my opinion. It's comfortable, it has multiple adjustment points, and most importantly, I don't experience any back pain from sitting in it. The leatherette is nice and cool and easy to clean. Now I've never sat in the soft weave fabric, so I can't compare this one to that, but I am happy with my choice. So some of the accessories around my setup and the most eye-catching thing are my NanoLeaf Lines. And I just absolutely love them. I love the colors, the customization, the vibe it brings to the room. They are definitely a talking piece, and everyone keeps asking where they can get these lights. NanoLeaf were kind enough to send me 2 starter packs of their lines, but for this design that I wanted, I needed a little bit more, so I purchased a 3rd starter pack myself to make this honeycomb design that you see behind me. So a big thank you to NanoLeaf for their help. So here's a link to my NanoLeaf Lines unboxing and setup for you guys. Now I definitely wanted to add some wall shelves for display purposes, and so this honeycomb pattern of the NanoLeaf allowed for the opportunity for me to get some honeycomb shelves that I placed inside of the pattern. And I had all of this planned out before I actually placed anything up on the wall. So there was a lot of intention with this setup. The hanging plant you see and the bamboo plant in the corner are not real, but it does add some nice earthy tones to the room. You can find all of these plants at Ikea, again, linked in the description below. And tucked away behind the bamboo plant, I have this sleek floor light bar that I use as a practical light or a fill light in my YouTube videos and shorts. It just adds a nice extra touch of light to the room and design. Now I got this light years ago, and it just so happens to go really well with my whole setup here. Lastly, we have the bookshelf, and I use this for display purpose and decoration. Star Wars is my absolute fandom, so I have many of my favorite collectible items here on display, along with my PlayStation 5 steelbooks and these awesome wooden PlayStation symbols from GeekMade Designs. Now GeekMade doesn't have these on sale all the time, so you will have to keep an eye out for them on their website, but I will leave a link to their website in the description below. Alright you guys, so there you have it, my home office studio setup tour for 2023. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. Again, I've listed everything we discussed in the description below, and they are affiliate links, so please consider using them as they do help support me and my growing channel. Now, if you've noticed something in my setup and you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below and I will definitely get back to you guys. And with that, we have come to the end of this video. Hit that like and subscribe button here on YouTube and follow me over on my other social media platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And with that, we'll see you in the next video.